Hey guys, what's happening? I'm gonna unmute everybody for a minute so we can squawk like birds. Actually, you can unmute yourself if you want.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Justin?
Not much. How's everything going?
Good, buddy. How's life with you?
Wonderful, dude. Wonderful.
What's up, Kinsley?
Mr. Quinn, how's
nice
it going,
hat.
buddy?
How we doing? You like that hat?
You like that hat? You look sharp.
This, it's not easy to be part of the dream team.
High standards, man.
There I am.
Like your home office.
Yes, I changed the backdrop because I used to sit in front of a curtain and everyone wants to know what's behind the curtain. So I figured I would just get the bookshelves.
What was the answer? What was behind the curtain?
Nothing. It's just a brick wall.
Why didn't you choose door number 2?
It's my
Nice
neighbor's
tapestry.
house. Yes. Hi, Katie. So good to see everybody.
Okay, now I'm not muted.
There you go.
Happy anniversary, Quinn.
Thank you for that. It's been 20 years of, I think, Bridget, she's been blissfully happy. I'm sure I've just made her so happy.
Extremely patient.
Guys, good afternoon or morning from Nashville.
Good morning.
Hey, Joe.
Nashville.
Hey, Joe.
Thanks.
Good morning
for
from
everybody.
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Here's
What's up?
Trent. Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, Lee Burns. How are you, buddy?
Hello, guys. Good morning from Monterrey, Mexico. Hello.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, good morning.
Oh, wow. Good morning.
Good morning.
Monterey.
Good morning from
He's-
South Carolina.
Hey, South Carolina. Monterey, Mexico. He's the only guy who understands what Dos Marcos means, Kinsley.
Jesus understands.
He can
But we pronounce
translate
it-
for everyone.
He pronounces it with a little more
More vocabulary.
accuracy. Those Marcos.
I think Alexa might be a little racist because she never understands it when I say play the Dos Marcos podcast. So I don't know what her problem is.
Darn Alexa.
We've still got people kind of flowing in here. That's why I'm paused. I keep having to admit everybody to the room. So it looks like they're still flowing in. But I'll kind of give us an opener here as people start hopping in. Number one, thanks for joining us today. This is the inaugural Campfire Conversations. Okay,
Might want to mute everyone again for.
I'll do the mute all. Quinn, should I mute you or not?
Yes.
People might
Yes.
appreciate it. Who said that? Who said that? Justin, I see you.
Trent. No, Trent said that.
Hey, Ramberg, you better shut it. Right now. I'm gonna get little Trent to kick you in the Jimmy there.
Yeah, he's holding down the store today. Don't mess with him.
Mhm.
We can't see if he's smirking because he has that mask on.
Right. He's smirking.
Hold on a second. Johnny Lamp wants in. Do you think we should admit Johnny Lamp?
Heck
better.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to mute everybody, and you can unmute yourself if we're talking to you. So it's in the bottom left of your screen is the mute button. So if we're talking to you, if you have something to say, question, you can unmute yourself. But for now, I'm going to toss on the mute all. And Quinn, you'll probably want to unmute yourself. Maybe Greg, you as well. But this is Campfire Conversations. We wanted to do like a 6-week series where we could gather up. It's a vehicle for kind of connecting to ideas, information, encouragement, and just being together as we navigate the mattress industry. Things are changing pretty rapidly, as many of you know and many of you are experiencing. So we thought, isolation is the enemy of excellence. So being together is a better way to figure things out. And as part of it, we're going to do like a rally around the retailer. Since we're gathering around the campfire, we thought we'd do rally around the retailer. And today, our first retail heroes are going to be Greg and Katie Law. And I thought, here's what I wanted to do to start things out. So I want to have Greg and Quinn and myself all tell an embarrassing story. And there's a reason for this. In addition to, I just want to hear what Quinn says. And I also want to hear what Greg says, since he's wearing the best headpiece of anybody involved. And I'm going to pin his video for me.
Well, this isn't actually a piece. Like, there's no barber shops open. Hair's really growing out. So just trying to tidy it up a little bit here.
Looking good.
Thanks for pulling us together. I'm really looking forward to hearing what everybody's got to say.
Cool.
Well, and as part of it, for those of you who love an agenda, let me kind of review that. That way you know what's going to happen. So I wanted to say, number one, welcome. You're all on mute. So that's good. The agenda is we're going to do what I call rally around the retailer, and we're going to focus on what Greg and Katie and the Sweet Dreams team in North Carolina have been doing as they navigate the changing conditions in relation to all things COVID, where they're at today, the opportunities they've created through this experience, and then do a Q&A. So we'll try to keep that as structured as we possibly can, but just being able to ask Greg and Katie questions about how they've done things. Then a Q&A for anything you want to ask me and Quinn. Try to ask Quinn as many things that are personal and pointed as possible. And then I wanted to talk real quickly about a podcast we just did that's really important. We actually had somebody text us and say, this is the most important podcast you guys have ever done, with the retail futurist, Doug Stevens. It impacts all of us. And then we want to talk about a few opportunities we see out there, and then we'll wrap up and schedule next week. We'll keep this thing to about an hour. And, but yeah, it's time to start off with embarrassing stories. Greg
Goes first for sure.
I could write a book on embarrassing stories, but I'm going to need Katie's help with this one. And a little shout out to my brother-in-law, Andrew, aka Matt Man. He's developed a little slogan that kind of ties into my story here. During this last 2 months, we've been in survival mode, and there's a lot of things we're proud of, but he's been spreading the theme of whatever it takes. So it's really like, I like looking at it as like rolling up our sleeves, doing all that we can do every moment of every day, and just everything positive is positive. So it reminds me of when we first started our business. It started with me, and then we hired other people to do it. We developed a character called the Sleeping Bandit. So it started with, I would set up a fully made bed out on the corner of rush hour traffic. And I set it up before the sun rose in the morning. So it's still dark out. Mattress, box springs, frame, headboard, blankets. And I got out there and slept on the bed on the side of the road in front of our store, with those different signs that said,
Another satisfied customer.
Yeah, another satisfied customer. Honk, and I'll give you a Sweet Dreams coupon. And like, it got a big response. We kept doing it, and like, people would go in the coffee shop next to us laughing. And I'll cue this up a little bit more, and then I'll turn it over to Katie. But we did hire one of our guys that worked for us, Luke Patterson, and his girlfriend to get out there one day, and their heads kind of look like same color hair as Katie and I have, and they're out there sleeping, rush hour traffic on the side of the road in the afternoon this time. And our friend Michael Thomas drove by and thought it was us in the bed. And so he pulled into the gas station right next to the bed and snuck up. And he didn't know Luke and his girlfriend, but he thought it was Katie and I in the bed. And he snuck up and hopped into the covers real quick. And they're face to face with strangers in a bed on the side of the road, rush hour traffic. And they all hopped out of bed screaming. And you can only imagine what the cars were thinking. But my personal favorite was when I actually talked Katie into doing some roadside shenanigans. It was an Easter weekend, and I got her the Pink Nightmare bunny suit from the Christmas Story. Full pink bunny costume. Her face is cut out. Ears are sticking way up. And I talked her into getting out and bouncing on the bed by the side of the road, and she's got a good story to go with this.
Yeah, so I don't know how Greg talked me into doing this because it's kind of outside my normal character. But so he set up a bed on the side of the road for me to jump on with like a sign like Easter sale with this pink bunny costume on. And
Whatever
it happened, whatever it takes. It happened to be on a Saturday where the kids were making up a snow day in our area. So they were getting out of school around noon on Saturday, and there's a middle school right across the street from our store. And the buses start like releasing, and as the buses go by, all the middle school kids are yelling profanities out of the window to me. Get a job, Bunny, you suck! F you, Bunny, you suck! And I was like, oh my God, I hate my life and I hate middle school kids right now. So we had like the little Nextel phones at the time, and I'm like bleeping Greg, like bleep. Greg, we're never having kids. Like, this is terrible. Get me out of here. What did you make me do here today? I'm never doing this again.
I can't believe Greg would make you do that.
What a good sport.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, this is 17, 18 years later than that. People are still talking about, the roadside shenanigans, and we actually just relived the pink nightmare in some commercials that we did this year. Got Katie back in the pink bunny suit.
Yep.
So pretty excited about that.
All right, Quinn, you go. I like it. That's a good one. And I'm sure there are many more where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
Well, mine's quick. 20th wedding anniversary today. So God bless my wife for putting up with my crap for 20 years, right? Thank you. Appreciate that, fellas. And so Ann Olson, or Annie Pillow at the time, who was with Blumenthal back then, she had Bridget and I over for an engagement party. And so we're opening these presents from all these people, and the first present was a toaster, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool, how nice, we got a toaster. The second present we opened was a toaster. The third present we opened was a toaster. So we got like 7 toasters, and it took me until like the 5th or 6th toaster to understand they were screwing with me. And so the story goes, for one of our anniversaries prior to even being married, I bought Bridget a toaster, a Dwalet, just not any toaster, a Dwalet toaster, European, beautifully crafted, sitting on the counter. It was like a $600 or $700 toaster, because my wife's got a lot of crap. So what do you buy her? I mean, she was doing the kitchen, so I thought this was really a nice European toaster. And so Annie was so pissed at me because she'd been coaching me on presents to buy Bridget for years during our courtship. And I said, but Annie, it's a Dwalet toaster. She said, it makes toast. She said, unless a diamond tennis bracelet pops out of your Dwalet toaster, it doesn't freaking matter. You bought your wife a toaster, you dumbass. So that was a party where 30, 40 other people got to hear what a moron I was buying my wife a toaster, and they all bought me toasters. So that was kind of it. It's wedding related. So it was kind of embarrassing, but anyway.
Gwen, happy anniversary. Bridget is a patient woman.
Yeah, she's a saint. All right, Kinsley, finish us out here, baby.
All right. Okay, perfect. Finish this out, baby. I'm holding a baby. I'm in my early 20s.
Ooh.
And I'm at a big dinner with my girlfriend at the time, fiance. So I'm meeting the family, people in from out of town, and her cousin had a baby. I haven't been around babies at all. At this point, no babies. I had held a couple of babies. I was a babysitter, none of that. So I'm holding this super cute little, her name was Alexa. And then things changed, and, now she's tortured for the rest of her life, I'm sure. Hey, Alexa, give me this, give me that. So I'm holding little Alexa, and I grew up around farm animals. I always had ducks and goats and puppies and litters of this, that, and the other, and cows and horses. And so I always grew up around, farm animals being born. And so I'm holding this baby, and I look up and I say,
same thing, Kinsley.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Farm animals, babies.
I look up and I say to the group, I say, when will she open her eyes? And they say, she's just sleeping. And I go, because, when you have puppies, there's a moment when they keep their eyes closed for a long period of time. And then they finally opened their eyes. And so that was my intro into learning a little bit about babies. Second, mattress industry related story. 2 9,000-pound Asian elephants come into the Leggett and Platt facilities. The guy that brought them in promised they would not go to the bathroom on the floor, and they went to the bathroom all over the floor. And Quinn, yeah, you've got pictures of me shoveling.
Hey,
Okay.
no better guy for the job.
That's right. Dad said I'd be a ditch digger, right?
So you hooked Greg and Katie into talking about Sweet Dreams, right?
Yeah. So the reason, just real quickly, this is the takeaway, and then we want Greg and Katie. Stop rushing me, Quinn. I see what you're doing.
I did not mean to rush you, Kinsley.
This just came out, and I came across this. I thought this would be valuable. As we navigate this crazy changing environment, creativity is going to help get us through these times. And a big piece of creativity is bringing your team together to brainstorm. And it's been shown by Lee Thompson. She's a professor at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern. People that have groups together that tell an embarrassing story first generate more and better ideas during those brainstorms than groups that didn't tell an embarrassing story. And Quinn and I talk about this all the time on the podcast in terms of how to brainstorm, how to introduce creativity. But they really didn't have any like firm reasons as to why that worked. But the theory being, people connect with your vulnerabilities, not your victories. And if they connect with your vulnerabilities, that means they like you. If they like you, they're more likely to support your ideas. Meaning, when you throw out an idea during the brainstorm, they're going to build on top of it. And during a brainstorm, you want to build and build and build and go for volume of ideas. It's not a place to edit. It's not a place to shut down ideas. So I thought, hey, let's illustrate that now with our embarrassing stories, because this is 6 weeks of creativity that we want to bring to the table as we all come out of this better than ever before. And so with that kind of setup, I just want Greg and Katie to talk about Sweet Dreams. They're in Lake Norman, North Carolina, that area. And I've seen you all featured in some of the trades. And talk about what you're doing. Talk about the state of your business, some of the challenges, and how you're navigating the current reality and how you're thinking about going forward. You're on mute. Hold on. Let me unmute you.
Thanks for letting us share, and I'm looking forward to learning from everybody else too. So just to recap, just kind of our first step, and I'm sure a lot of people were in the same boat, but when the threat of everybody having to close their doors and going down to just the essential businesses, our first step was, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to be an essential business? What are the guidelines? What are the requirements that are written in what Mecklenburg County requires? And so we went down that. But that's such a great question. I think that we're always going to ask ourselves is like, what does it mean to be essential? Not only according to the government, but how do we be more essential every day to our customers and our employees? So we wanted to really start that period with, okay, well, how do we be more helpful? How do we focus on, so home office, we brought in more home office furniture. That was listed as a deemed essential service, people working from home supplies. We opened up our trucks. People were stuck in moves, like that they couldn't get moving companies to be able to help them. That was listed as an essential service. So we focus on that, and we try to tell that story is we're bringing in more supplies, more services that we can do to help you. Not so much what can you do to help us as a local business. Like how do we prove to our community that it is better to deal with local business because they're proactively trying to provide more value to the residents of this community. So I love the book, The Go Giver. And in that book, it's got 5 stratospheric laws of success. And one of my favorites that I've been trying to share over and over with our team is the law of value. And it's stated, your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So that's the essence of everything we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. You know, we call it high knees around the dream team. Like, are we doing all that we can do? Or are we just doing part of what we can do? Are we moving from task to task with intensity, with a purpose to serve? Are we trying to add value? I listened to an interview with Phil Mickelson, the golfer, and he was asked by the interviewer, what separates a 50th ranked pro golfer from the #1 golfer in the world, or the top 3? What's the difference? And he said, well, my mentor, my coach, when I first hit the big leagues, told me my first assignment is to go to the putting green and make 100 3-foot putts in a row without missing. And if I miss, then I have to start over. And it took a long time. He said, I did it. I took it seriously. I went through those fundamentals. And there was one time, like, he got the hang, he got better and better. And then he hits 99 in a row, 3-foot putts, and then misses the 100th putt. But he didn't quit. He got right back at it. And the very next time, he made 100 3-foot putts in a row. We talked to a colleague, another golfer, and asked him how he was doing with that assignment. And he said, I don't know, I got to like 50 or so. And then I got busy and I got sidetracked and I just quit. And that's really what like, we're really focusing on fundamentals, like really adding structure for our team. Like, we designed this funnel. So really try to illustrate it, like, okay, what is all that we can be doing? So if we're looking at a healthy business, healthy, successful business, we need a whole team of people performing at a high level, not just counting on our paid advertising. Every single one of us has a role to play in bringing more people in, solidifying those relationships with our customers, adding more value to the community. You're not just stuck in the store hoping somebody's going to walk in the door. So you've got customer advertising, you got company advertising at the top, outdoor signs and energy. Our team needs to be in charge of how does the outside of your store look? Are you setting up sidewalk displays? Are you putting balloons out? Are you making it look like we're open? We discovered Facebook Marketplace. Holy cow. That is a gold mine. People, to be essential to people right now, they need deals. And we rolled out a deal. We took every bit of clearance that we had. We posted on Facebook Marketplace. We got the whole team working on that. It's not just Greg and Katie doing marketing or Matt Man. It's the whole team. And that got us traffic, people coming out. I can't believe this deal. What else can I get? Well, you know, we're cutting deals on everything right now because we're trying to do our part to help people in need. By the way, what else can we do to help you? Sharing on social media, LinkedIn, person-to-person networking, business-to-business, customer quotes, customer follow-ups, customer calls. Are you reaching back? Are you letting them know we're open? Are you seeing if there's anything, how they're doing? And then are we providing over-the-top wow service? That's the funnel. That's the fundamentals that are key. And how do we get better and better? It's like 100 putts. Are we getting to 50 putts and quitting? Or are we really trying to master that? And that's what we're working on.
When you think about the fundamentals, Greg, and you kind of did that reset, how much different is that from how you were operating on a day-to-day before?
You know, we really tried to continually go over that together, but I think it's resonated better. And I think, you know, when we did have to furlough most of our people, right, on March 23rd. And then the PPP money came in. It was like a light switch. We had to get everybody back to work. And I really like how it was designed to be able to do that, is to get people back to work. So we brought everybody together and we talked through it. When we furloughed them, we were doing it for the right reasons so that they, we knew it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to have to do that to be able to survive. So we didn't want to string them along, and we explained that to them face to face, in person. We want you to be first in line to be able to get unemployment benefits during this time. We want you to have a job to come back to you. So when they did come back to it, we started with gratitude. We're grateful for you. We're grateful that we're still in business. We're grateful for our customers that have been supporting us through this. So here's the strategy now. We want you to be aware that we've got 8 weeks of government support from this PPP loan. And we all need to be thinking about this, because I want to be up front. 8 weeks from now, you need to be asking yourself, what kind of extra value am I putting into this business? Am I working at high knees? Am I working at an intense pace? Or am I just doing some of it and going through the motions a little bit? So we are seeing, I did start asking, I'm not a micromanager, nor do I want to be, nor does anybody want to be micromanaged, but it's helpful for me when I'm on the sales floor and I get really busy to have that insight where I have every employee send my sister, who helps, she's our HR director, and me, but I wanted them to send it out to the whole team. Like, what are you doing every day on these? What are you doing on this to reach out to people? And it's great to see all the positive things that are being done. It makes me appreciate their efforts more, and I'm aware of it. And it's something that we're going to be developing on, is like, hey, what's working here for you? What do you need more support on? So we just really try to be upfront on the importance of really them thinking that way. And I see more getting done than ever.
Hey, Greg, on that note, you guys are already great at customer service, and you said you're leaning into a wow customer service. Have you done anything different there? I mean, it's a unique time. Have you been able to make an impact on the consumers in any different kind of special way?
Yeah, and we really knocked the cover off the ball with helping a few of them move. And just the way that our team is really going through the basics. So the moving was a great example of that. Like, our delivery team is top notch. And part of it, like, we have a game plan for everything. Like, we have a game plan for perfect deliveries. I've got 10 steps on what they need to be focused on every time, every customer, all 5 stars, every customer, every time. But then we practice together on sorry, I got a call. We practice together on nailing the basics and then delivering +1. So everybody on the team constantly looking at what is important to that particular customer and doing the extra step. Our automatic thing is $30 Sweet Dreams cash to come back and see us. I would say just really focusing on the essentials and bringing in more new categories of furniture has been key for us. FaceTime. The customers want frictionless shopping. They want it to be easier than ever. They want to know what we're doing to stay clean and healthy in the stores. So when they call in for help, would you like to switch over to FaceTime so I can show you these products while we're talking? That has been huge. Lots of success with that. So, oh, you mean I don't even have to leave? Podium on our website, the live chat on the website, enormous for it. We're doing more business than ever through that. The key Podium payment. So I get to shop with you with a great personal experience, and I can just click here and pay for it. Done. So those are some ways.
Katie, what about, oh, Katie walked off. I was going to say, what about from your perspective, Katie? Why don't we open it up to some questions for Greg? What questions do you have for Greg? And just unmute yourself and we'll kind of flag you. There you go, Scott Frisch. You're up, Scott.
So, I live in South Carolina. You guys obviously under different rules for opening. What kind of traffic are you getting, and what kind of people are coming in, and what's their attitude?
The first 2 weeks, it was dramatically slower. So from March 23rd, the first 2 weeks, we dropped down to one person per store. And then it got busier once people realized that stores were open. So the banners in front of the stores, sidewalk displays, bringing in more furniture, and then using that Facebook marketplace, that got us through the period. So bringing in more and more home furnishings helped us a lot. So because of that, and then the momentum and the word of mouth that we got, May is 50% up over last year's May so far.
Nice.
So we've seen some really good traffic, and we're very thankful that we were able to stay open. We took it seriously, and we still are, as far as like really trying to follow the guidelines and staying clean and healthy and sterile and sanitize everything. But we're very thankful that we were allowed to stay open.
This is Dave Novak. I'm in Dallas. I'm more on the supplier side. We've been trying to act as more as a consultant, specifically with smaller retailers, and provide insight from what we know about the PPP loans. Quite a few of them have expressed a real difficulty getting attention, getting them approved, getting them moved forward, getting a sense that sometimes the smaller banks might operate with small business more in mind than the bigger banks. Difficulties, Greg, and how did you get past them? Any challenges or any hurdles you had to cross?
We did. Our existing lender, I had good contact with him, lots of good conversations, but I sensed that he was moving without high knees. And I said, hey, as soon as they're accepting applications, our application needs to be in. Like, and he's dragging his feet a little bit. So I put some pressure on him and really got him to open up. That their board at that bank had not approved. He's like, we're being really cautious. Well, I have other friends that are banks. So I went with a smaller local bank with a person I had a relationship with, and he hustled. And he got it through promptly, and that made all the difference for us. I've talked to a lot of people that their bank did not push it through fast enough. And I think the fact that I made that clear that, hey, as soon as they open it up, we need, and I had to go find somebody else to do that. I'm glad that it did.
Thanks, man. That's a good result. Thanks.
Kevin Split, you're up. Hold on a second. Now you're off mute. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. How you doing? Hey, Greg and Katie. Kevin Split here at City Furniture in South Florida. First off, I just want to say it's always great to talk to a fellow FSU Knoll. So you guys went to FSU. Actually, I think we probably crossed paths because I was there around the same time. But other than that, definitely thank you guys for sharing your what you guys been doing through this pandemic. I think it's very helpful for everybody on the call. For us, we've seen a big increase in our online business, tremendous increase. And one of the things that we had to pivot to for us was that during this time, we had to furlough 80% of our sales staff. And for those that we had furlough, we had some of our best sales team, unfortunately, working from home. But what we did was we utilized them to work on our chat team online. And those guys have done an amazing job. Luckily to say that even last week, our business is up 30% over prior year. We are struggling a little bit, obviously, getting the mattress category back up. And my first question was, a two-part question. One, for your guys' business, did you guys see a huge uptick in online business for for you guys. And then the second thing I want to say is, out of your store, now I noticed it's Sweet Dreams and it's mattresses and furniture. I have the opposite of that. I have City Furniture. So it's hard for people to even know I have Sweet Dreams waiting for them behind my doors when you're not specifying that you sell mattresses. But the thing I want to say is, from you guys, what proportion of your business is mattresses and furniture? And then as of you guys mentioned, you're up 50%. Are you guys seeing the same thing where mattresses are not growing as fast as the furniture side? So thank you.
I think that, Andrew, can you run that report for us on the mix? Because I haven't had time to pull the mix this month, but normally our furniture is 15% of the business, but it's a lot higher right now, and I know that for sure. But what it's done for us is it's been a great way to get people in the door. It's a great way to put out a loss leader. It's a great way to put together package deals. So the mattresses have been selling as well. So just kind of spreading the appeal around our market of, a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of people on the website shopping furniture. And then they realize that we're open and integrating on the web chat. So the podium volume is through the roof. I don't have a percentage for you, but we've closed a lot of deals through podium, a lot of deals from people starting on that, calling in, ordering over the phone, ordering through FaceTime. So it's huge. I would guess a lot higher right now in the furniture, probably this month. I'll get back. I'll email you the percentage difference, so I'll be sure on that. But a huge spike in furniture for sure. But we're thankful that the mattresses have been selling with it.
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked to people all over the world about is this idea of kits. People want to limit their exposure, so they don't want to make multiple trips to multiple retailers. So it really is an opportunity for us in the mattress industry. So if they're coming in for a mattress, selling them the sleep essentials like the pillows, the sheets, mattress protectors, of course, and that's its own conversation, bed frames, adjustable beds, making sure the customer has a full kit so they don't have to go to other places where they could be exposed. And I think that's a message that could resonate for us. Greg, it sounds like that's what's happening.
Absolutely. That and providing your last Dos Marcos episode with the gentleman from the New Jersey Nets.
John Spolstra.
I resisted my first urge, which was to cringe when he said he bought an avocado mattress. But the lesson learned there was, shame on me. Like I need to be writing much better content on every page on our website that gives people the information that they need to be able to make a buying decision. So that was a great lesson I learned from that interview. And it all ties into, what more can I provide the customer? Am I making it frictionless shopping? Am I making it easier for them to find everything that they need that relates to all this? And am I giving them like truly helpful information that makes it less transactional and more enhancing their quality of life? And I think that all those categories, selling them as a package, does that for a lot of people.
Greg, you've always, I'm sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Well, I was just to add to that, it's one of those situations where I think when we evaluate customer journey before, during, and after, we have to ask ourselves, is this frictionless for what we think is smooth, or does the customer actually feel a frictionless journey? And then also, coming up next week, we're going to have as our featured retailer, Roger Cunningham from the bed store around Knoxville. And Roger, we talked to him last week. And one of the things he mentioned is they've got a system to essentially guide people through their website so they can walk in with a piece of paper that shows the mattresses that are best for them. And the reason they did that is because they wanted to have something between them and what they feared the most, which is the salesperson. So we have to look at, how do we before the sale, like you said, Greg, create content, personalize our business, show people what this experience is going to be like, take them there in their minds so that when they actually go there in person, they're not scared. They're trusting of the people that are going to be on the other side.
Absolutely. That was one comment I got from a customer that she'd known we had been there for a long time, never set foot in our store, saw a deal that I put on Facebook Marketplace. And she said, I've been next door to the restaurant 1,000 times, but never wanted to come in because I didn't want high pressure. I didn't know exactly what y'all carried. So I did. And she said, I see all of your posts. I said, tell me about that. Cause it's been a great way for us to share a lot of deals that we have, but does it come across as spammy to you? Since you see all my posts? She was like, no, it was a great way for me to get more of an insight of what all you carry here. And so that's why I came in today. And so doing that through video, through better copy on the website, through easier ways for people to be able to see our true character and our true product offerings from home, to get over that fear of having to deal with that unknown when they come in.
Greg, you've mentioned a couple times copy on your website, and I'd like to open this question up to everyone, really. I think you guys have talked about quality of life connected to sleep for a while, so feel free to answer also. But what's going on out there with retailers now? I mean, more than ever, we have the ability to connect mattresses and the things that we sell in our sleep shops to quality of life and health and things like that. So has your messaging changed? Like, we're notorious in this industry for product price and promotion, advertising and marketing messages. So have the retailers on this call, have you been able to work in more of a quality of life, sleep is great for your health type of message?
Are you asking me or the callers on the call?
Yeah, so Greg, let's start with you, and then anyone else who is in retail who would like to share a thought on that, please do.
I need to do a much better job of putting this to where I don't have to where it's on the website and the story's told really well. But in the store, the conversation, in looking at how do I provide more value to the customer on this kind of transaction, I started doing a lot more sleep research than I ever did before. So a lot of reading, a lot of studying. And I found this guy, Sean Stevenson. He wrote the book, Sleep Smarter. He's the host of the Model Health Show on podcast. And I watched a lot of his interviews on YouTube. But he's got a brilliant story where he had a degenerative bone disease. He was a track star in high school, broke his hip in the middle of a track meet, was told by doctors that they could never help him because his problem was degenerative. And so he started studying, what can I do with nutrition? What can I do with exercise? Asking the right questions, and started to reverse a lot of the symptoms that he was told by doctors that could never help him before. But not until he started studying sleep did he realize that now he's 40 years old. This was when he was 20 when he was diagnosed with this. He's the picture of health. He's overcome all of those symptoms, reversed all of them by understanding that when he gets deep sleep and controlling the things that he can control in his sleep, it's more important than diet and exercise combined. So giving that information to people and sharing some of those tips of these are things that we can control, like our healthy routines, nutrition, hydration, like getting the room temperature down, getting the light out of the bedroom, reducing screen time right before we fall asleep. Sharing that in the conversation as opposed to coil counts and components. We're talking about how you can take sleep and achieve your dreams better, or not a slogan, but it's a conversation. And it's like night and day. People start getting excited about sleep because they start realizing that they can feel better, they can think better, they can achieve more. just by tweaking a few simple things and getting a better quality night's rest. So now I need to do better in like, how do I get that message clean, clear, concise to all the shoppers going on to my website or hearing our messaging so that it helps push that message better.
Trent, you had a question. I'm going to take you off mute.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Thank you, guys. Thank everyone. Greg, I got a question. You were talking about like everyone that works for you to be more active and engage on social media. What are some things that you had them either post, or did they share the store's post, or what were they doing to engage more to show that they were working there, or, you know, that makes sense?
Yep, and we have to be careful with that too, because I have seen some things go wrong for other businesses where maybe an overzealous employee posted the wrong thing, and but basically like making sure that they don't talk about politics or religion.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. So the number one thing is Facebook Marketplace. They don't have to use their personal account to it, but we can't use their business one because Facebook doesn't allow it. So you can actually create a profile that you could use just strictly for that. And then joining one way that to really magnify that was joining a lot of neighborhood groups. So key neighborhoods that are groups on Facebook, and joining it, so when you do post on Facebook Marketplace, you can copy to those pages, and that just like boosts the viewership so much. That has been huge. And then sharing and being aware of what we're already doing as a company on social media, and helping to share that and comment on it and participate with it and raise awareness with that. I really like LinkedIn too, because we're trying to develop our people where they're building a career and they see Sweet Dreams as a career, or at least a nice stepping stone where they're developing as a person. I think LinkedIn is a great tool for that. Like, you're able to start building your network from within the store, support your friends in business, and congratulate them on a job well done on what they're doing. Share messaging on that. I think that's a great social media tool that we're getting more and more of our team involved in.
You know, well, of course, I'm taking notes. I'm sure most of us might be, but I really like something you said: share and be aware. That speaks volumes. If you can get your employees and people working for you to share and be aware, I like that. I'm going to use that. Thank you. I'm going to trademark that. No one else can have it.
You got it.
Lee Burns was asking in the comments section, everyone, if anyone else is using a call center.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Greg, are you guys?
So basically, we when everything started to happen, we used voice over internet, and so we grabbed all of our location store phone numbers, and we had them all come into us. And so for the 3 weeks that we were closed, we answered all of the calls that were coming in from the stores. And it was incredibly insightful to learn what our guests were telling us as it relates to our website. I think we learned that we had some holes on our website we didn't even know about. There's also apparently a shortage of twins in our marketplace, because it really is amazing how many people call and ask for a twin mattress or the price of a twin mattress. But in that, right now, our stores are very short-staffed as we're trying to get everybody back to work. And we're continuing to have the calls come into us like a call center, but at times we're actually having trouble manning it. So I didn't know if anyone was using any kind of outsourced call center.
If you have an answer, take yourself off mute there, and you can respond to Lee.
I have not used the call center. I've tried to use our staff for that. So really trying to get them to reach out to all their customers and then past customers, just to let them know that we're open, and just to see if you're in the right place at the right time. And just show them that we care about them, see how they're doing, and just like a nice check-in call.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a friend that owns a boat dealership, and he's used a call center, and he said it's done well.
Okay.
I'd be curious to see if anybody has it.
Through the software that
Greg,
we put in place, we're able to pull stats on our stores and how many calls are we missing in a day. And we're able to go back and listen to the quality of the call. And so I think that was a little eye-opening once we started this new software, because we realized our salespeople are, and it may be because they're with someone in the store, but they're very quick to say, thanks for calling, here's the price of the mattress, and then get off the phone. And not really building an experience like we would in the store, and definitely not making an appointment or inviting them in. And right now we're having a lot of success with setting appointments. And so when guests are calling us, rather than just saying, yes, we're open, come in, we're going with a different language of our stores are open by appointment right now to regulate how many people we have in the store for social distancing. What time would be good for you? And so what we found in that is people are setting an appointment and they're sticking to it. And when they come in, they're tending to buy. Our close rate on those guests are much higher than people that are just walking in on their own, because there's a level of commitment there. So it's kind of turned our eyes to maybe there's something there we haven't seen before, with how we handle our calls. But thanks, Greg, for everything you've been sharing, by the way.
Yeah, likewise. What's the name of the software you use for the phone calls?
It's Vonage, and it's a voice over internet, and the software is all built into the phone itself.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Austin,
great.
go ahead,
What a
buddy.
great coaching tool that is.
Yeah, I wanted to say that we used Podium the entire time we were closed. So I noticed Greg mentioned that. I don't know how many of y'all use Podium, but that was I think, just a couple of stores answering those. I was answering most of them. We did have a couple of store managers that kept up with it, even though they were technically unemployed, and they would go meet people for private appointments the entire time. We probably did like 60,000 over the, specific, maybe starting April 1st through the third week of April. So that at least allowed us to pay a few of the bills that we were not able to, while we were closed. But Podium was certainly huge, and we started using Podium payments a little bit as well, so I can send a text link to the customer to pay that way, and any way to reduce friction, like everybody talks about. It has been extremely helpful. But no calls.
Have you tried Podium Video?
We are on the beta for that. We haven't had an opportunity to use it, or someone that's been interested, a customer that's been interested in doing it.
Mark, this is Jesus again from Monterrey, Mexico. Let me explain. I'm still hanging on your question you asked about quality of life. We have a business here in Monterrey, Mexico. We own 40 stores, and we are licensees of Englander, and we also have the Duxiana store. And we had a situation about 2 weeks ago where we got a phone call from a customer. He was calling from Mexico City, which we don't have stores over there. He wanted so bad the best mattress we had, or he was sleeping very bad, and he asked for the Duxiana bed. That's, it's a high price value mattress. So just by phone call and what we explained to him, he was relieved on what we explained. We shipped the mattress to Mexico City the day after he paid. And he answered many WhatsApps or messages to us, and he was so grateful. And what we have seen in general is that the people are buying mattresses because people are staying at home and they're spending more time at home trying the mattress and say, I really need my mattress. So what we've seen is an increase on sales, mostly the last weeks, because people are in their homes and they're being more conscious on it. And our marketing message has been truly about quality of life, and we've been getting very good results on that. Also, for Lee, the question that you asked, if what are we doing with the phone lines? What we do, since we have around 100 salespeople that they're not going to their work, we have probably the stores are half closed. What we did is redirect through the phone or through the WhatsApp lines or chats, the phone calls from the customers or the web page to each of the salespeople, so they can manage those calls. And since they have the experience of that, if we have a call center, they don't know how to sell a mattress through the phone. But if we have the salespeople without getting any traffic into the stores, and they know how to talk to the customer, that has helped us a lot. So I don't know if that helped.
And it's amazing. Just we've had some calls with our international licensees through Englander. We've got several on the call today, because it's amazing to think that we're not all in the same boat, but we are all in the same storm. And as you talk to people all over the world, from the UAE to Egypt to India to Mexico to Guatemala, we are facing very similar circumstances as we all try to reopen and engage consumers in a new way. And I just love seeing the creativity. And like you said, Greg, the high knees attitude of being persistent, being vigilant. What can we do? Can we do it with speed? Can we do it with passion? And, that's what happens on the backside of something like this, is those who stay strong, I think, reemerge stronger. We've got a couple of minutes left here. Does anybody have any final questions?
I have a question for everybody. How's business been, generally over the last, we've been open a week and a half, and definitely above average with no marketing dollars spent. But just curious how everybody is feeling about the future.
If I can jump in. This is Steve out in Boise Mattress. So we have, so far May has been good. We were able to open back up May 1st, which has been a huge benefit to us. But what we've also seen is that customer that's more health conscious, right? We've pushed into, with the help of Sutherland, and that latex line has been off the charts for us. So hopefully that's the customer we start to see, is the one that's more health conscious, that's looking for less chemicals in their mattresses. They just seem to, the viruses just seem to bring a health focus to our customer base. So hopefully that helps our average tickets as well. Other than that, when we're selling a ton of twin mattresses, seemed like everybody's replacing their mattress over the last month.
Anyone else want to comment about your business?
I'll say something. This is Trent from Bowling Green. One thing, of course, I've been closed. We finally got to open up Monday. Thanks to our illustrious governor. We won't go there, but we've been super busy, slammed, and which has been great. And I think I agree with Stephen. It is going to be more health conscious. But one thing that I did to stay relevant and not even promote mattresses, I've been promoting other small businesses through social media, local businesses, and like probably out of the 20 people that I had in my store the last 2 days, half of them mentioned that. So, now is the time, really, in my opinion, to maybe promote other small businesses in your local area, not competing businesses, but restaurants and such. It shows you're a part of the community, and it's really helped me over the last 2 days, really bring in a lot of customers. And like I said, over half of the people that came in yesterday and Monday mentioned the fact that I was promoting other businesses. So just a food for thought going forward when this is all said and done. But just my opinion, I think it's going to be great, and I can't wait. 2020 is still going to be good. I don't care what anybody says.
Good perspective, Trent.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I've seen some of your videos on that, Trent. I think that's great that you're doing that. What a great idea.
As we were talking about video, I just want to make a quick comment. If you're not using video, like if you think about how many Zoom calls have you guys been on, right? So it seems like there's a lot of that going on. And so it's like acceptance of something. Like in my generation, like we couldn't wait to get on video calls. And then when they got here, like we weren't like, I never video talked to anyone really with video. My kids did more than I do. But now with this whole virus thing, I've been on more video calls than ever. And I've been on video calls with doctors and other applications. So I think it's something that will stick throughout all of this. You guys are probably better indicators than I, my opinion, but I think video, just the ability to have a video chat with someone, and Greg, to your point earlier, like maybe walk them through the store and take them right to the sofa you're talking about, or, you know, just making sure that you're training up your sales force, maybe designate 1 or 2 people that are really good with that and comfortable with that. But I think video can be a really great tool going forward. And at least in the short term, maybe not as many people wanting to get out and shop. So really promoting the idea behind that. What do you guys think?
So do you actively advertise on your front page of your website? You do video chat, or that's what we have. That's what I've had a problem with figuring out, I guess, is how do you tell people that that's an option?
So Austin, and Mark, to add to that, cityfurniture.com, we actually, before we opened up on Monday, we were only doing private appointments, 1-hour appointments with our staff that we had on hand. We started utilizing Zoom to do virtual appointments with our customers, which we actually had were 2 associates, one holding the iPad with the Zoom call and the other one actually doing the sales presentation, demonstrating that. Now, like I mentioned before, our business has been up double-digit growth year over year for the weeks that we've had with these private appointments, so it's been a blessing. But one of the things we actually started to brainstorm on is that, you know, the fact that we're doing these 1-hour appointments and the Zoom calls is that we actually started to evolve about doing sleep appointments with the customers. You know, do you want a sleep expert to take you through the sleep process? Because again, you're going to have about part of your population that's not too comfortable yet with coming back into a retail space. So whatever you can do to ease that. And then the other thing is that's great about these virtual appointments is that right there, again, we're in this video world now. It's bringing in that rapport with the associate, with the customer and the associate, to where when they do set foot in the store and work with that associate, it's already, you know, there's no walls up. It is like they've known each other for years, and we've seen a great, really a huge conversion rate from video appointments and private appointments. And yet, being back open on Monday, we're still seeing appointments because, again, customers want that personal touch as they come into our stores still. So.
Like Mark said, Zoom has brought video to all of us, and it's probably going to only increase as we move forward. And I think about how much the world has progressed in 5 years. I can remember 5 years ago, a sales rep getting a call from a dealer who couldn't make it to a market. They said, "Hey, do you have FaceTime? Can we go that route?" I mean, that seems like old technology. So he spent a half an hour with them, showing them product, just like as a retailer you could do with a customer with FaceTime access, and a lot of people have it. Same philosophy I would think would work today as it worked as long as 5 years ago. So it seems like there's a great opportunity to engage people in that, because just like we're having this conversation now, you can see and read emotions. You can see if somebody laughs and gets it, or if they say, "Oh gosh, I don't think that's right." You can read that. It's darn close to being there in person and boy, how many of these can you do a day? How many of these could you do a day with a customer versus waiting for them to potentially come in? Seems like a great tool.
It's a great perspective, Dave. And really, I mean, as we look at this shifting landscape, what are those small tremors of a trend that will become commonplace? And, I've been talking about this with people, everybody from the futurist Doug Stevens we had on the podcast, which you should definitely check out. That's a mind blower. But you look at trends and you think, crisis fast tracks trends that were already there. And how is the complexion of a city going to change whenever office buildings that Twitter used to occupy are shut down and the retail built up around those office buildings has to change or repurpose itself in some way? What happens when colleges and universities, 30 to 40 to 50% of students complete their education online? What happens to the landscape surrounding those universities? So we're all in the middle of that. And the trends that were associated, or maybe that were bubbling up ahead of time, like video chat. There was a time when I didn't really like video chat. Now I can't wait to hop on and see everybody's face and talk and experience things that way, just because it does, like you said, Dave, it has that human connection piece. So we're going to be continuing to talk about these trends. And I want to thank everybody. We're right just past an hour, so I want to respect your time. But Greg, thank you so much for being our retailer in the middle and letting us rally around you and pepper you with questions. And, as soon as that barbershop gets open back up, I don't think you should go visit them. Maybe give them some money, but don't visit them.
Yeah, I'm going to be first in line at sports clubs. Thank you guys for having me. I really enjoyed the whole conversation. That was fantastic.
You guys, Kinsley alluded to it, but I really want to say it one more time. That podcast that we did with Doug Stevens, I don't know about you, Kinsley, but as we were kind of listening to him talk, like when it's a futurist, I'm always a little reluctant because I'm like, okay, like what are they going to be talking about? But this guy, I thought he nailed a couple of things. One of them was, are the consumers going to be coming in and shopping your store? Like, are they going to visit less stores going forward? Are retailers going to be helped by landlords to drive traffic into their locations? So there's some really cool stuff. So if you haven't listened to it, Kinsley and I both at the end were pretty impressed with that guy. I think you're going to really enjoy that episode.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, Mark, we're trying something new tonight. We're going to have a live concert on our Facebook page at 6 o'clock tonight. Kermit Ruffin, he's a local New Orleans jazz singer, and he sings our jingle. He's going to be putting it on inside of our store, and we'll be posting it on our Facebook feed, his Facebook feed, and a charity's Facebook feed to raise money for a local charity.
Wow.
And so y'all may tune in and it may bomb. We've never done it before, so we're going to see how it goes.
That's awesome.
Cool idea.
That is cool.
I thought for a second, Lee, you were going to ask Kinsley to get his guitar out and come do a Facebook Live show for you.
We'll put him right in there.
Well, hold on. I can warm up the crowd, and it'll be so bad that whoever comes after me, it's just going to be gold.
It's all good.
Hey, Frank, you had asked a question. Did we get that answered for you real quick before we go? Frank had asked, what was it, Frank?
Did anyone change their comfort guarantee policies due to the virtual selling?
We bumped ours out. Specifically for somebody that purchased right before we closed. We extended all those out, obviously, since we were closed. Anybody that their trial was coming up while we were closed, we pushed all those back.
Sure.
All the vendors worked with us there, so they should work with you.
Did you change anything with stuff you're selling now, though, that people can't test in your store? Or do you have a comfort return policy?
Yeah,
anything?
we still have ours in place. We have some spray sanitizer that they're required to use on anything that's picked up from a customer's house, and then it has to be bagged and sealed. prior to putting it on the truck with any, especially with anything new on the truck. And they're in a separate place in the warehouse. But I think as long as they're staying, as long as the mattress is sitting by itself, sealed in plastic for, what is it? I think the max that the virus will live on something is like, wasn't it 7 days, something like that. So as long as it's sealed in plastic and sitting by itself, I don't foresee that being a huge issue.
Good.
Does anybody else think differently?
Silence is approval.
Yeah. Also, I think you're going about it. I mean, it just sounds like you're following all the precautions and doing everything you're supposed to be doing. So I think that's the way to be, for sure.
Well, we're going to hop back on here next week, same time, 10:30 Central. And we're, like I said, we're going to have Roger Cunningham as our retailer that we're going to focus on. So if you have any other questions that bubble up this week, jot them down, keep track of them. We want this to be, 6 weeks of community and sharing knowledge, trading ideas, and, fine tuning things as you see fit. There's big stuff, and then there's small stuff we're all working on to keep each other safe, keep our customers safe, and to make sure that we're coming out on the other side prospering. So we're going to end it there, and I want to thank you very much. It's great to see your faces. It's great to hear your voices, and I can't wait till we're able to get back together at industry events. And Quinn's buying cocktails. He's going to buy tequila shots.
Tequila shots, the official beverage of the Dos Marcos podcast. Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
see you, everybody. Thanks
I'll
again,
take a
Greg.
Bud Light.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, guys. This was amazing. Can't wait for next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Trent.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
You too.